Hi everybody, this is Montgomery, and it's a beautiful sunny and mild afternoon in Washington State, and I'm coming to you in the first of a series of easy lessons on the shining piper. Forgive the hand, I just had hand surgery, but that doesn't stop a flutist, you know. Here we go. So the shining piper is basically a fife. And a fife was used in military operations and other things. They date way back. What we see nowadays most of the time in the drum and fife corps are simple instruments that are kind of like this, only made out of wood. This is a Yamaha plastic one. They're very inexpensive, but they have some lovely ones in the shops that are made out of wood, turned beautifully. They're fun to play, but they're kind of on the soft side and can't quite do what the piccolo can do. Here's a Guo piccolo, plastic piccolo. The piccolo, of course, like the flute, has a full complement of keys and the ability to play chromatically everywhere in the scale that we use. Now, the fifes that are dating back to the 1800s in Great Britain, some of them looked like this. This is really quite an old instrument and fortunately in very good shape without any cracks in it. But this one dates back to about 1857, and you notice that there are a complement of keys on this. That allows the player to play half steps. So normally a G fingering on the flute, and this key would be the complement to a G sharp key on the flute. But the problem with piccolos, or not with piccolos, but with fifes, was that they were limited in the number of keys that they could play a far field. So they came in different lengths and different sizes. This particular one is in the key of E flat. So when I put all the fingers down and play it, it comes out an E flat. Now, the regular flute, not the piccolo, the regular flute with the foot joint, when you put all the keys down, it's C comes out. So it's an instrument in C. That fife that I just showed you is an instrument in E flat. This shining piper is an instrument in C, which makes it very easy for children to learn to play it and to be literate and to read music. So when you close all of the keys on this instrument, you get a C. So playing a C major scale is as simple as just going pretty much just straight up and down. As a word of caution to those that are teaching the instrument, it's probably easier with the young children on this instrument not to take the plugs out of these two particular holes that it comes with. Leave those in. And even though you probably would want to play an F, keeping the little finger down, or the E that way, for the little kids it's just as simple to have them play C, D, E, F, G, and A like that without even using the little finger. They can add that as an anchor position later on. So normally it's much easier when they get up to the B and the C to play to have something over here to anchor it. So you have some stability on the instrument, right? So it's an instrument in the key of C. The piccolo is also in the key of C, so you can kind of translate between the two that way. The shining piper is made with a head joint cut and designed so that it's very easy to get a tone out of it. So it takes very little air or soft air, and the children can play easy songs with very little air, very little effort. It comes out easily. Whereas with the piccolo, it's a different instrument. It takes a little bit more pressure. Not a lot if you're playing it properly. but it is a small flute and takes a little bit more effort in some ways. I have found out that the Shining Piper and the piccolo are playing in the same range. The piccolo only goes down to the low D, and the Shining Piper goes down to the C. I can get as high as a high A on the piccolo, but not above that. I tried and I just can't. And on the piccolo, it can go up to a high C, and in some cases beyond that a little bit. But otherwise, their range is pretty much the same. All right. That's lesson 1, which is just simply the basics of what it is and what you're looking at and why it's going to be an easier instrument for the children to play. Now, I didn't mention the recorder in this because the recorder is a different beast entirely. It's not at all like the flute in terms of getting sound out. I think, frankly, that the Shining Piper or this improved Fife with keys makes it a lot more fun for children to play. And if you go to some of the websites that I have listed on my Facebook page, you'll see in Taiwan particularly some amazing things that are being done with children grades 1 and 2, and they're actually literate reading music. So we're working on that, trying to get a songbook together for the Americans to introduce these into the school system.